Hello students, I am Rahil Burani from Government Polytechnic Kanpur. Today's topic of Advanced Computer Network, we have to study SCTP. What is SCTP? Stream Control Transmission Protocol combines the features of UDP as well as TCP and it works on transport layer. It is however a message oriented reliable protocol that has recently been introduced. The new applications need more sophisticated service than TCP can provide, so it combines the features of UDP as well as TCP. The topics to be discussed in today's slide are services of SCTP, features, packet format of SCTP association, and flow control as well as error control. So we will go with the next slide. What is written here? SCTP is a message oriented reliable protocol that combines the features of UDP as well as TCP, as I have said earlier. What features? Features like SCTP is a message oriented protocol. It is a reliable protocol like TCP. It preserves message boundaries like UDP. It can detect lost, duplicate or outer data like TCP. It provides flow control as well as error control like TCP. SCTP has new features that are not available in UDP and TCP. These are the table of some SCTP applications. SCTP is designed mostly for recently introduced internet applications which are not possible to use. These applications cannot provide TCP, cannot use TCP, and SCTP is capable of providing the required services with better performance and reliability to these applications. In the given diagram, we can see that SCTP has the multiple stream concept. Multiple stream means multiple stream service in SCTP guarantees the delivery of data does not get blocked. If one stream is blocked, the other can continue delivering the data as per the given diagram. The point to be noted as association in SCTP can involve multiple streams. The given diagram is of multi-homing concept. What is multi-homing? Multi-homing is a fault-free approach which ensures data delivery without interruption. The concept of multi-homing is illustrated in the given figure. As in the given diagram, you can see that the client has been connected to two different local networks with two different IP addresses. SCTP allows association between the clients and server using four different pairs of IP addresses. The next point to be noted, SCTP association allows multiple IP addresses for each end. In SCTP, a data chunk is numbered using a TSN. What is TSN? TSN stands for transmission sequence number. However, a data unit in SCTP is called as data chunk. What is the definition of data chunk? Data chunk is a data unit of SCTP. And what is TSN? TSN means transmission sequence number. The data chunks in SCTP are numbered with a TSN in order to control the data transfer. The next point to be noted, to distinguish between different streams, SCTP uses an SI. What is SI here? SI is stream identifier. As we know that SCTP deals with multiple stream, what is SI? The stream identifier is a 16-bit number which starts from 0 and it is stored in the header of the corresponding data chunk. The next slide says to distinguish between different data chunks belonging to the same stream, SCTP uses SSNs. What are SSNs? SSN means stream sequence number. SCTP uses SSN to distinguish between different data chunks which belong to the same stream. The received data chunk at destination is delivered to the appropriate stream in proper order by the destination SCTP. TCP has segments, SCTP has packets. SCTP has to deal with packets. The given diagram shows the packet design is completely different than TCP. SCTP has a design completely different than TCP. The data in SCTP is carried in the form of data chunk, while control information is carried in the form of control chunks, as we can observe the given packet. In the given slide, it says that control information and data information are carried in separate chunks. So going with next slide. Now the given figure shows us packet, data chunks and streams. There are 3 streams and 4 packets. The flow of packets from sender to receiver you can observe from the given diagram. Here point to be noted is, as we know TSN, SI and SSM, data chunks are identified by 3 data items. What are data chunk? As I have said earlier, it is a data unit of SCTP. What is TSN? It is a cumulative number identifying the association. SI defines the stream, SSN defines the chunk in the stream. What is in the given slide? We have to study about acknowledgement number. What are acknowledgement number? As given here, in SCTP, acknowledgement numbers are used to acknowledge only data chunks. What is acknowledge number? The acknowledge number are byte oriented and they refer to the sequence number. The control chunks carry the control information, but the control chunks do not need the TSN. As we know that, as we have to see the flow control and error control as well as congestion control is also guaranteed in SCTP. It is the packet format of SCTP which contains header of 12 bytes as well as contains chunks of variable length. In an SCTP packet, control chunks come before the data chunks. This is the general header which includes source as well as destination address, verification tag as well as checksum of 32 bits. These are the chunks. As per the given table, there are type, chunk and the description. The chunk consists of data, init, acknowledgement, SAC. What are all these? These are flag. The type indicates an 8-bit field which is used for defining up to 2 raised to 8, that is 256 chunk types. What are flags? Flag indicate 8-bit field used for defining the special flag needed by each particular chunk, and the length, it is nothing but is a 16-bit field which is used for defining the total size of chunk. We can see the chunk as data, init, acknowledgement, SAC, heartbeat as per the given figure. The next slide says us a connection is SCTP is called an association. What is association? A connection established in SCTP with the help of SCTP is called as association. Hence we can say SCTP is a connection oriented protocol. There are 3 phases in association. Number 1, the establishment, which is also called as handshake. The second one is after the successful establishment, we have to do the data transfer, and after the completion of data transfer, the third one will be the termination of association. The point says us no other chunk is allowed in a packet to carry init acknowledgement chunk. A cookie echo or a cookie acknowledgement chunk can carry data chunk. This slide can help us. As per the given diagram, here 4-way handshaking is achieved with the help of TCP association. In the given slide, we have to see 4-way handshaking. What is 4-way handshaking? First, the client sends the packet containing an init chunk. As for this direction, there is no verification tag. The second, now the server transmits second packet containing init acknowledgement chunk. In the init chunk, verification tag is the initial tag field value. The third one, the client then transmits third packet containing cookie echo chunk. This chunk is very simple, containing echoes without any change in the cookie sent by the server. And the fourth one, the server sends fourth packet including cookie acknowledgement chunk, which gives the acknowledgement receipt of the cookie echo chunk. Our next slide says us, in HTTP only data chunk consumes TSNs, but in data chunks are only the chunks that are acknowledged. This is how simple data transfer is achieved between the client as well as the server. The next slide says that the acknowledgement in HTTP defines the cumulative TSN. The TSN of the last data chunk is received in the order. Here the association is now terminated. First, the client sends an active close message along with shutdown to the server. Then the server says the passive close shutdown acknowledgement to the client, as well as when the client will receive the shutdown acknowledgement from the server, the client will send the shutdown complete to the server. The next slide, we have to see how flow control is achieved at receiver side. What is flow control? To handle two data units, the byte and chunk in HTTP, TSN and acknowledgement values are expressed in chunks where flow control and receiver side and flow control and sender side are achieved. In the given diagram, we can say the receiver has three variables and one buffer, that is a queue. The data chunks received which have not read by the process are available in the queue. The first variable carries the last received TSN, that is come TSN. The available buffer size and win size are carried in second variable. The last cumulative acknowledgement, last ACK, is carried in the third variable. It is the flow control at sender side. The sender has three cur TSN, RWND, and in transit variables and one queue buffer as shown in the given figure. The buffer carries the chunks generated by the process which have ready to be sent. Now we will see how flow control scenario is displayed. The given slide tells us the error control is achieved at receiver side. So how error control is achieved? What is error control? HTTP is a reliable transport layer, we know. But error control at receiver side is done by all chunks have carried are stored in the queue of receiver containing the out of order chunks also. The duplicate messages are discarded, keeping the track for reporting to the sender. Typical design of receiver side and the state of receiving queue is as shown in the given figure. Here it is the last slide which shows us the error control at sender side and how error control at sender side is achieved. The side can contain a sending queue and a retransmission queue. Three variables RWND in transit and cur TSN are used in the given figure. The given figure shows the typical diagram at sender side. The sending queue containing chunks 21 to 30. The chunk 21 to 27 have already been sent, but they are not acknowledged. The chunks 21 to 27 are outstanding chunks. So when the retransmission timer expires, the chunk in the packet will be moved to retransmission queue to be resent. These chunks will be considered as lost chunk. For the retransmission queue, the next time the sender will send it chunk. And as well as the congestion control is also achieved in HTTP the same manner as it is available in TCP. Thank you.